Smash that like button.
You too. What do they do? It's your boy Low Key. No, nigga, you do what I'm saying. I'm coming back for another video. And today, I'm coming back with another different ways to start your dreads. So today, I'm gonna be telling y'all how to start your dreads with the sponge method. And yes, for all you guys in the comments, yes, you can get dreads with the sponge.
You what?
I know, crazy. I didn't believe in myself either, but yes, you can start your dreads off with a sponge. You can basically achieve a look sort of like mine from it too, but you know, I start with 2-string twists for y'all that are new to the channel. But anyways, if you are new to the channel, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And you know, we're gonna get straight into this. Alright, so yeah, you can start dreads off with a sponge method. Now, this is a more twist-like method, not like the twist out like I was talking in the other video or 2-string twist, but a similar process. An easier process as far as starting your dreads. It's a process where you don't have to go to any type of professional in any type of degree to even start your dreads. Matter of fact, you don't even need to know how to braid or twist your hair in order to start this process. If you're a complete novice of dreads and you want to grow out dreads and you don't mind going through the whole messy phase, but you don't want a super maintained look, and you also don't want to go spend 80, hundreds of dollars, 50 or whatever for, you know, a dang retwist, and you're okay rocking it like messy or whatever, then yes, you can start dreads off with the sponge method. There's this sponge, I forgot the specific name for this, but you know, a hair sponge. You know, look up a hair sponge, you're gonna find it. You can start dreads off by using this tool right here. But yeah, you can use the dread sponge in order to start your dreads. All you have to do is really just grow your afro out. You can really do this even with a short hair type. You can probably even have as early as 2 inches of hair and start sponging it. I would suggest not to start with short hair, not because it won't work. You can actually still lock up and start your dreads off as short as you want to. That's the funny thing, because if you want to do finger coils or 2-string twists or whatever, you will have to wait till your hair is at least, I would say, 3 inches to, you know, for it to look pretty decent. With sponging your hair, you can start from a short length. You can start even the moment you can, you know, start combing your hair out with a fro or whatever. It's just when you sponge your hair with a really short length, you will see like a bunch of like bald gaps in between your hair. So if you're okay with that, you know what I'm saying, you can start sponging your hair with low hair. But if you don't want gaps, I would suggest start off with 3 inches of hair, at least 3.5 most likely. Start off with 3.5 inches of hair, you know what I'm saying, grow your afro out, whoop de whoop. Then you get your sponge. Now you can use grease or you can use the sponge itself or conditioner, whatever feels right for you. But you can apply a product. If not, you can just be natural. And all you have to do is sponge your hair in a circular motion. It can be clockwise or counterclockwise. It all depends on you, what's a good feel for your hair. Yeah, I usually, I think it's clockwise, like, you know, just go forward. Also, the thing about sponging your hair, you have to sponge your hair the same direction from beginning to end, and while it's growing as well. Because if you switch directions, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, think about like, you know, when you retwist your hair, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you twist it one way, that's the way you're twisting your hair. If you twist it the other way, you're unraveling the hair. So if you do, you know what I'm saying? If you do a variation of twisting it one way and twisting it the other way, it's like your hair is gonna like twist up, unravel, and it's just gonna basically mess up the lock. You'll probably have like, you know, like breakage like in the middle of it or something. And that's something that you don't want to have, especially with freeforms. And yes, with this method, you can start off freeforms the right way. Although freeforms, I'm gonna actually make a separate video actually for freeforms, because freeforms are not exactly what you guys think it is, but it's more or less, you know, getting that crazy look. You know, that's what we consider freeform locks. And you can get that crazy look, you know what I'm saying? If you want your hair like, you know, NBA Youngboy, Rod Wave type, you can start off with the sponge method. The sponge method won't necessarily get you freeforms. It's basically another form of starter locks. Now, what you do from sponging your hair, once your hair is secured, then you can grow it out. And once you grow it out, then that will be considered freeforms, which is why, they would consider, sponge method, freeforms, whatever. It's the easiest way and a sort of maintain, in a way to get freeforms. Because natural freeforms is just, really just washing hair, honestly. Pretty simple. Now, yes, you can wait till your hair is 2 to 3 inches, maybe 4 inches. You sponge it, clockwise. You keep sponging it, and you will notice, like, you're gonna start off with, like a picked out afro, of course. So when you do that, you're gonna notice your hair is going to get a very bumpy look. It's gonna start off bumpy, and then eventually it's gonna start off kind of spiky-ish. Now, your hair is still gonna be soft. An afro hair texture is pretty soft. You know what I mean? You might have kinky hair, 4C or whatever, but typically an afro, especially if it's a picked out afro, you're going to have soft hair. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have soft hair, but I feel like my hair texture is probably a 4A, 4B. Looking into it, I'm not completely sure, but that's the closest I would say to my hair. I'm pretty sure I'm on the verge of 4A, but I say 4A, 4B. It kind of switches depending on like what I'm doing with my hair. So you sponge your hair, you keep sponging it. It's going to form a little bumpy look. After you get the bumpy look, your hair will get a little spikier looking. You know what I'm saying? When you first start sponging it, it's gonna look very controlled. Especially if you do it at a short length, it's gonna look very controlled. You're gonna do it. Once you do this for like weeks, like 2-3 weeks, your hair is gonna kind of get this, this little bumpy look. It's gonna stay like that for the most part. After like a month of doing it, it's going to start looking a little bit crazier. The repetition of you sponging your hair day in and day out, by a month in, your hair will more so stay in that form. Not to say it will fully be in that form, like, because you could probably still easily pick it out, but it's the start of the process. Now, you can use the sponge to get freeform dreads, but you can also get regular dreads from it too. But it's still the same thing with the freeform method. When it comes to this method, obviously for every dread method, if you're starting off locks, especially in the starter lock stage for the first 3 to 4 months, make sure you wash your hair just once a month. With this sponge method, like, with the 2-strand twist method, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could wet my hair even in the earlier stages. With the sponge method, I would suggest not really even wetting your hair. Like, it's like you could, but it will mess up the look. You got to really reduce your washing, and you got to do it in right timing too. Because washing your hair is really good for the locks. It actually does help your hair lock up faster. It helps it mat up more and whatever. And it helps it grow and whatever. But with the sponging process, it's all about sponging your hair, compressing it, making it form into singular twists. That's the funny thing about freeforms too. You will sponge your hair, but over time, over months of sponging it, you don't even have to technically even take out strands and twist it. Your hair will become these individual strands on their own. The thing about the sponge method though is there's no telling how your hair could be. You could be in control of how your hair could be if you sponge it, you turn a certain way, you press a little harder on one side than the other one, or you split hairs here and there. That's the cool thing about this type of style. Going with the sponge method, you can get a unique set of dreads, you know what I'm saying? You're kind of in control of how you can form your dreads, but in a way you're not in control. But either way, you can get different looking dreads. Like, you're not going to get the standard looking dreads from doing the sponge method. Now, with the sponge method, you could sponge your hair up until, I'd say, 2 or 3 months, or whenever your hair feels like it's basically stuck. Like, all the twists is basically, not to say locked up, but it's good enough to stay together. Once you get to that point, you can basically freeform from there, because each individual strand is not going to unravel. So it's all about literally just letting the new growth go in, and then over time your hair will just drop and just become regular dreads. Or you can sponge it, get into a stable state, and if you want controlled locks, you can retwist it. After the retwist, it's up to you if you want to freeform or if you want to keep getting it maintained. But The sponge method is a good way to start off getting dreads. It really builds the foundation. It's one of the easiest and quickest ways to build the foundation. It's a very good method if you do not know how to braid your own hair. You're not trying to go to anyone to braid your hair, to retwist your hair, and none of that. Like, you don't know none of that. You're not trying to waste your money doing that as well. You can't find people to do your hair. Sponge method is probably the most perfect method to do dreads. You know, you can just stack your cash up for the moment, keep doing the sponge method, then eventually get a retwist. Or you could just form dreads the whole way, you know what I'm saying? You'll get a more freeform look, but eventually your hair will drop and you can still get regular dreads. You could still get regular looking dreads with the sponge method. You just gotta make sure that, you split your hair, so you don't get congos, whatever. Your hair will lock up, you know what I'm saying, from that form. Guaranteed. You have to wash it at the right moment. But yeah, that's the sponge method. You can do that. So if you want to get your hair, like NBA Youngboy, Rod Waves, whatever, you can start with the sponge method because that's most likely what they did to start their hair off. I have a feeling how certain celebrities went about their dreads. I'm feeling like making videos on that, but you guys let me know down in the comments if you guys want to see something like that. But yeah, for the sponge method, yeah, all you gotta do is just let your hair grow out. I say 2-3 months, 3 to 4 inches. Let it grow out with a fro. Sponge it while it's short. Sponge it for a few months. I think it takes up to 4 months. 4 to 5 months for your hair to somewhat lock with the sponge method. If you want to wait till your hair to drop, I'm not gonna lie, it could take earliest like 7 to 9 months, maybe a year. In a lot of cases, it could take 2 years, depending on what you do with your hair and depending on what style you want. Because if you keep sponging it, even when it's long, then your hair is going to keep sticking up. But if you like sponge it till it's like my length, and your hair would just gradually hang down. The thing I like about my hair is that I was always in the mix of like, did I want semi-free forms? Like, did I want to do sponge method, 2-strand twist? I wanted 2-strand twist, but I kind of wanted that freeform look too. But I kind of like how after the retwist, my hair always gets this, like, you see, I got this little cow look, like, I don't know, this joint just won't go down. You feel me? But yeah, that's the sponge method. You can go from sponging to retwisting, or just sponging and letting your hair freeform, and then your hair will form into locks on its own. It's really just a patient game when it comes to locks, you know what I'm saying? Only the strong will survive. Now I'm really going through it because, my hair is still short, but, y'all gonna see at the end of the year how my hair is looking like. You dig what I'm saying? Anyways, if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm finna end it off right here. If you guys want more hair videos, let me know down in the comments below. I'll provide. I'm going to make more different ways to start your dread videos. Come on, man. I got y'all with the sauce, with the heat. But yeah, let me know what other hair videos would you guys like to see, because, I'm going to really provide more content. I see the hair things working, and I really like talking about this subject. I really like to show you guys the sauce. But anyways, we're going to sign off right here. It's your boy, Lo. No undercut, you dig what I'm saying?
They asked me if you were someone I should have messed with. To be honest, I don't even know. I just go with the flow, keeping up my hopes. Don't regret what I did. I'm so tired of all this shit. We fell in love again. How